Hey, I'm Jennifer, and I'm with the Breamery, and I'm here today with Iona and Kali with Renegade. And Renegade is a company we've been working with for years since we started, I think in 2020 when we opened our restaurant is when we first started with you guys. And you had started out with really the first kind of hard salamis that we offered. And today you have like another three or four flavors that we offer as well. And I was just excited to meet you guys today and to hear how you all got started and what the genesis of the company is and like what your vision is and where you guys are going.
Absolutely. Well, we're happy to be here chatting with you today and really excited to share our story. I think it's especially special talking with you as you guys were actually our very first wholesale account.
I know, it's so cool.
So it's
Yeah.
fun to be here chatting with you about everything. So Kali and I are sisters-in-law. She's married to my brother.
Cool.
And over the years, we've always bonded over our love of food and cooking together. We're always in the kitchen making all sorts of fun creations. But the idea for the company really came about a long time ago at this point. It was back in 2010. I was living abroad in Spain and I'm a lifelong vegetarian. So being in Spain, it's a very meat-focused culture. And actually, I met a team of chefs, one from Italy, one from Spain, and they were charcuterie makers. So, all sorts of hard Italian salamis, Spanish chorizo, and they'd put together these beautiful presentations and have these amazing dinner events with their charcuterie. And as a vegetarian foodie, I loved the experience, but I couldn't actually participate in all the flavors because I don't eat meat. So, I came back to California. I was living in Sonoma wine country at the time, and I was just really inspired to take all those flavors, all those traditions, and the experience and see if I could recreate it with a vegan product. So
Hmm.
I spent years in my kitchen just having fun creating vegan products. I shared them with Kali over the years, and it's something we really both enjoyed doing. But it wasn't till 2019 actually that the idea for the business came about. So I was attending Future of Food events in San Francisco. I met some amazing people in the space who had the idea, you're making all of these incredible products. Have you ever thought of selling them? And that was kind of this light bulb moment. And I went to Kali and I was like, I'm talking to these incredible movers in the vegan space, and they said we should start a company. And she was like, let's do it. So we were accepted into an accelerator in late 2019, and we're off to the races ever since.
Was the accelerator in San Francisco?
It was in Berkeley.
Okay. So was it where Uncreamery was? Because that's about the time I started with Uncreamery too.
Oh, wow.
I think they're in the neighborhood. They're a part of Berkeley where there's just tons of different vegan companies, but not the same building.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's so neat. And so, like, were you making different kinds of seitan, like charcuteries? So you were using different spices and combinations that you learned about while you were abroad?
Yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
really cool. And so, like, what are your guys' backgrounds? And also, how did you come up with the name?
Yeah, so the name, that's a good one. We were looking for something. We saw ourselves as, kind of game changers, very cutting edge. We kind of look at it as the new frontier, so to speak, in terms of food. So we thought Renegade was a fitting name for that.
It
Yeah.
is. It's great. And then,
Yeah.
do you guys have foodie backgrounds, or like, what is from where do you come?
Yeah, I worked in the hospitality industry for years prior, mostly front of house, general managing some restaurants and stuff. But then I also got to work with some incredible chefs in the kitchen as we put together menu preparation and that sort of thing. And I've always been lucky to work with really incredible teams, and they're letting me just jump right in and experience myself. So I've learned a lot unofficially in restaurants and that sort of thing.
How about
Yeah.
you, Khalid?
I bring the opposite skill set to the table. While Iona is the creative culinary piece of it, really knowledgeable about nutrition and bioavailability of ingredients and really smart about how we source and put together the product. I come from 20 years in the corporate space, managing teams and budgets and projects. My excitement is a good spreadsheet. So that's kind of the yin and yang of our team, as I'm the opposite end of Iona, kind of the engine behind keeping the day-to-day business going and functioning properly.
Yeah, well, that's so interesting because it's spot on to be in a space like this. It really helps have both of those covered. I would say that I am to Iona as Meredith is to Kali. because that's what Meredith does for us. It's so important. There is one thing that I've noticed over the years of offering your product and tasting it through the years. I think it was maybe a year or two ago that there was a pretty significant, I would call it an upgrade to where the texture softened a little bit. So what moved that, or how did that come to be? Because it's so interesting, and it really creates a different experience of the product that I prefer.
Yeah, I can talk to that a little bit. So, as a young company, we are constantly iterating. We are constantly trying to be better. We're constantly improving. We're constantly sourcing better ingredients or using new techniques to try to get a product that is just the best we can possibly make. Throughout that kind of R&D process, one of our North Stars has always been to make a shelf-stable product. We
Mhm.
wanted to have a product that you can throw in a backpack, take with you on a flight, go to a dinner party and not have to worry about the refrigeration or the perishability piece of it. And we looked around at our space and went, gosh, no one is doing this. Absolutely no one has a shelf-stable vegan salami or deli meat product.
Mhm.
There's a
So
real
true.
opportunity because when you take a look at charcuterie shops in Europe, they're hanging from the ceiling and they're cured meat that don't need refrigeration. And
Yeah.
to clear up market confusion and also just make a more accessible product for our consumers, we were really aiming towards that North Star of shelf stability. And I tell you, Jennifer, it took years. It wasn't a simple process, and it's not a simple process, but we cracked the code. We figured it out. And so part of that textural change was that transition between a refrigerated product and an ambient shelf stable product. It gave it a different texture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a big leap for the company and very exciting because we could appear in places that we couldn't before, wine bars that didn't have the refrigeration storage for us, those kinds of things. So
Yeah.
that was a big, big move for Renegade, and I think a really big part of our story.
Yeah, that's very cool. Is your salami literally aged? Like say in Europe, how you walk through the markets and you've got your, I don't know what you even call them, but your logs hanging.
Sure. Not in the traditional sense that you would think. We
Uh-huh.
are fermented, and the cooking process is a long one. So it's not aged in that it sits on the counter and gets more kind of flavorful or gets more aged.
Is it fermented on the front end and you cook it? So are there living cultures on the back end also?
Yeah, through the smoke, we have a smoking process and we try to keep the heat low.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
it
cool.
helps the bioavailability of the protein in the wheat gluten. It's already
Uh-huh.
been broken down prior to cooking, so it makes it more digestible.
I have never known that. That's a really, really interesting point. That's something that's like worth putting on the product page, because there are some people that they're actively, consciously looking for more foods like that in their diet,
Yeah.
you know?
Definitely. Hmm.
Yeah. So great. What are your guys' plans? Like, I mean, you were so innovative with the flavors that you came up with. They are so unique, right? They're not flavors that people normally, would think of. Do you have plans to expand more to more of the flavors, given that you have experience with being in Europe and seeing there being such a wide spread of what can be done with this kind of a product?
Sure. Well, I think, up until recently, we've been focused on launching our new salami sticks. It's something
Uh-huh.
we're
I saw those. We're so
passionate about.
excited.
So
Yeah.
that's been our focus. We've always thought, having more convenient on the go snacking is something that vegans also sorely need.
Yeah.
So it's been exciting for us. We launched those in just our three original flavors, the Sopressata, Toscana, and Chorizo. So right now, we're really just working on iterating, making those, the best we can make them. And then we're
Mhm.
we're also thinking about future products, but nothing immediately in the works.
What are your hands down top three best-selling flavors?
I'd say the Sopressata and Toscana are really the top two, even with
Yeah.
the new flavor launches. I think with the new flavors, the Budapesti is really popular as well. That's what Harry and David carries, Sopressata, Toscana, and the Budapesti.
Anything else you guys want to throw in for just posterity's sake on just like anything about Renegade?
It feels good to still be here. We've seen a lot of our
I
comrades come
know.
and go, and the space has really shifted in the time we've been in business. And when you look
Mhm.
at it over time, we haven't been in business that long in comparison.
Us likewise, we've all made it. That like it has been 5 years, and that is like really, like you said, I mean, the companies that come and go, how much money they have to build their business is not indicative of their success. And like I look at you two, you're lean and like we're very, very lean on our side and very involved, right? And I think that that's one of the differences. Instead of having all this VC money and funneling it out to different agencies to get things done, you
Sure.
know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That,
It's a humbling process.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys are doing awesome. We're so grateful to be partnered with you and really looking forward to what we might be able to put together for one of our subscription boxes in the fall. And we're just so grateful to have you, you know, partnered with us and to have such a great relationship for so many years and to
Yeah,
see your
likewise.
faces.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah, we have a soft spot in our heart for the Vreamery, so thanks for all the good work you do.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
All
All right.
right.
You guys have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your time
You
this
as well.
morning.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay.
Say bye to
All
your
right.
team. All right.
Bye. Ciao, ciao. They say bye, guys. Ciao, ciao.